Hey guys, it's Lainey, and today I'm doing a book review. Sorry if my voice is still mountain man. Still getting over the sickness. I'm done being sick. It's just the residual effects from being sick. So, fluids, and that was a side note. Last weekend, right before my finals week started, I finished Champion by Marie Lu, which is the third and final book in her Legend series trilogy. This book put me in such a severe book hangover, and I finished it, of course, at 2 in the morning. So whenever I finish a book that late or early in the morning and then I have to go to bed, it's just, no. I'm actively thinking about this book. Definitely the case here. It made me feel so many feels, which I'll get into in the spoiler section. So let's just kind of talk about non-spoilers. You open the book and you get a map. I love maps. I wish Suzanne Collins would give us an official Hunger Games map. I'm looking at the desecration of what our world has become. I'm like, oh, the Republic and the colonies. Where do I fall in the state of here? I'm on the border. I'm from Iowa. Have I ever said that? I don't know. Iowa's pretty much on the border. I think I might be on the colony section when I'm at home, but I think when I'm at college, I think I'm in the Republic. I really liked that, except I couldn't tell where I was from. First chapter is my favorite first chapter of any book from anything I've ever read, ever. I loved how she started in Day's point of view, and it had this modern noir isolation loneliness to it that I loved. Day, who is still using disguises and still feeling like he has been in the past from the past 2 books, was great. Obviously, if you haven't read 1 and 2, don't watch this review because spoilers, especially what happened at the end of Prodigy. What's great about this book is that it's still so extremely visual that you can picture everything. I love reading about this world. I just feel like I'm there. I rated this book a 5 out of 5, no brainer. It's just, oh, it's so perfect. The only thing that kind of irritated me was that we would be in a rising action of a scene, and then the next chapter, the next paragraph or something, we would be ripped into a flashback. And while I think flashbacks work, obviously, in this book because they explain things from the past, what I didn't like was where they were placed, the transition between present time and flashback. But that was the only thing that bothered me. Other than that, perfect. I knew before going into this that people say that this ending is very, very satisfying. While I agree with that, it still ripped my heart out, left it on the ground. Too many feels at the end of this book. Go read it if you haven't, and if you have read it, keep watching because I'm talking about this book a lot. See you soon. I'm not going in chronological order. I have my book talk notes, and I'm just going down the list. So the first thing I want to talk about is Ross City. Incredible. I thought the Republic and the colonies' technology was out of this world crazy, but then June tells us that, haha, no. We are small peons compared to the technology that has developed through Ross City, Antarctica. The little glasses, and if you do something nice, you get points. Anybody else think of The Sims? That's what I was thinking. Every time you put your Sims, they want to buy a piece of furniture, and you buy a piece of furniture, and they're happy, so they get points. This is what I thought was Ross City. Oh my god. Ross City has turned into The Sims. And then I thought, not bad. Not a bad way to live. Nope. June did notice that the order was so orderly that what would happen if something slipped up or if people were bad, they would get less points, which is an interesting concept to think of and could possibly see in another book. Hint, hint, Marie Lu. The cylinder internet thing that June comes upon in Ross City. She searches Day and she searches Andon, and I don't know about you guys, but I walked in there and I was going to search the internet. I would search myself. Especially since she's the youngest princeps select. But she didn't, and I really wanted her to like Google herself because I wanted to know what other people thought of her. Speaking of Andon, I love him. He's so likable. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I seriously think he is such a likable character. When they kind of kissed in Ross City, I was like, it's just like, big June and Day shipper, don't get me wrong. However, it just tugged at my heartstrings because I'm like, he likes her so much and he can't be with her because she's gonna be with Day. Usually on love triangles, I don't feel that way. It's either I'm extremely one team or the other, and I felt so much sympathy for Andon. He is young and he's running this country and people are trying to kill him and they don't believe in him, so really liked Andon's character development overall. Since Prodigy, I kept thinking that Day's dad was going to make an appearance because they kept saying how he was gone. We don't know if he died or not. There's no body, so especially in books, it's going to be in the back of my mind. So I thought he was alive. The Chancellor from the colonies kept calling Day's son. I'm like, the Chancellor's gonna be Day's father. Really disappointed when he wasn't, but that's just a side note. I thought I'd throw that out there. Did anybody else think that Day's father was gonna maybe come back in this final book? Because he seemed like his views would fall into the colonies' viewpoint, so I thought maybe he'd be in the colonies somewhere. From the get-go of Legend, I had this sense that the Republic was this grand place, you know? Until this book, it kind of seems that the Republic is very insignificant and more of a nuisance to the other countries. Someone asked me what this book was about, and I said, it's pretty much what would happen if the United States turned into like North and South Korea, and the Republic being North Korea, and how we're kind of all frustrated with them all the time, it seems like, in the news and things they do, and they kind of think they're better than they are. I don't know if I'm just stepping on toes politically or anything like that, but I really feel like the colonies and the Republic is what would happen if America turned into what North and South Korea turned into. That was like my comparison. I don't know where I'm going with this, but yeah. First, when they sleep together, I was just like, yes, because I feel like sometimes they don't go into those things for a young adult, or they just love each other forever and ever, and nothing ever happens wrong. And at the end, of course he doesn't remember her. Of course his sickness had to do something like that, where he wouldn't remember her. I'm getting towards the end, and I'm reading. Daniel, Elton, Wynn, and brother sleep tonight for Ross City, Antarctica. No! She leaves and she walks into like the lake sector, and she's like looking around, and she's like saying goodbye to him in her head. Gets to the end of the page and she's gonna love him always, of course, and it's like my heart is like beating so fast. I turn the page and I see this. What? 10 years later, I had to get up and walk around my room because that's how frustrated I was when I saw this page. When I first read New Moon, I'm gonna admit this. You guys. Edward left her. This is raw emotion. Let's talk about this for a second. I'm, 16 years old? It's just like page after page of months. Like, was it September, October, November, December? Because there's just so much that happens in those months, but nothing happens. And it's just so heartbreaking. When I see 10 years later, it was like New Moon times a million. She's 27. This big long paragraph of what she's spent all her birthdays doing, being all lonely. I'm seeing all these numbers and I'm thinking, this sounds interesting. This could be 5 books worth of things I would read, Marie Lu. I hate summaries that summarize a lifetime. They too many feels. Too many. We find out that Andon and June get together for a little bit, few years, and I'm okay. It's like, I'm okay with that. Was anybody else like okay with that? You're just like, okay, I'm okay with that. And then they break up, and then I was even sad when they broke up. Like, what? My mind. Then they find each other again, but he still doesn't really remember her, and it's it's just, you guys had this great adventure through Prodigy, and then helping the Republic still be the Republic and not the colonies, not take it over, and then you forget about it. It was so sad. And I just felt so bad for June. So then I finished it, and it's like, okay, they're gonna get back together, obviously. But then I was just, they wasted 10 years when they could have been together, and I'm so sad, you guys. Anybody else just feel like it was a great ending, but it was like, ripped my heart out in the process. The last 10 pages ripped me apart. I couldn't, and then it was like 2 in the morning and I finished it and I felt empty and I was just like, what is life? I don't know. I couldn't go to sleep. Books, man. What did you guys think of this book? How did you like it? Did you like the ending? I mean, I did like the ending. Like, yeah, but it broke me deeply. Thanks for watching this book review. I will see you guys very soon. Bye.